All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday on the Brushfire Mind. It is the 12th of February, and, well, we are going to be talking about WTF CNN. No, okay, so usually we do the WTF CNN segment on Wednesdays, but I'll give them this one. This is cute. Good news for Trump. Playing golf may help older adults live longer, study says. Of course, they hate the man so much that even though they mention him in the headline and spend the first sentence railing against his, President Trump has spent more than 260 days at one of his golf clubs during his first 3 years in office. That, and I'd like to point out that's 260 days at one of his golf clubs. That doesn't say 260 days playing golf. Isn't that a cute little lie that they're telling? They want you to think that he spent all that time just screwing around and not doing the business of the state. Guys, the Donald has residences and golf clubs all over the world, and he's conducting business at those places, which is perfectly fine. It's a place. And okay, there we
Yeah,
go. They got a picture of the Donald.
yeah, and at some point it's like, okay, first of all, the study itself. Oh, you mean staying active helps you live longer? Gee, you don't say.
Right. I mean,
Uh,
this could as easily read playing airsoft may help older adults live longer. Right.
yeah, I did life insurance for some time, and Chris, I wouldn't be surprised if your experience wasn't terribly different from mine. But the people that just kind of sat around and were miserable, they were the ones who weren't long for this world. They were the
Mm-hmm.
ones who very frequently passed within 5 years. But the people that were trying to go, 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 yeah, occasionally they burnt themselves out. But they were the ones who usually made it past the 5 year mark. And you sitting
Right.
around watching The Price is Right, complaining about your life, chain smoking cigarettes, and not even getting off your couch. Yeah, the problem's not the insurance company screwing you over.
Exactly.
But all presidents play golf. Obama played golf. Bush played golf. Like, I mean, so what? Seriously, so what? And yes, we made jokes about Obama and his golf habits and so forth and so on. But at this point, like, it's not even funny anymore. And the fact that they're trying to turn it into this thing where, oh, Trump's going to live forever because he plays so much golf. I mean, just whatever. It bores me. It bores me.
So, CNN, five takeaways from the New Hampshire Democratic primary. Okay, let's see what you got. No, no, I don't want the news summarized each morning. I do that.
But Chris, that face, that handsome, earnest face, you don't.
I'm prettier than that when I shave. So, New Hampshire, Bernie got the televised celebration that eluded him a week earlier. That's cute.
Yeah, and so what's that? What's that? What's two votes in a row where Bernie has won the popular vote and somehow not won the highest number of delegates?
Yeah, funny story that. Huh. So let's just bump that up a little bit so we can see it.
You know,
Oh, too much.
just too much, too much.
So yeah, Bernie got a full one, almost 1.5%, 1.3% above above Pete, and still walked away with the same number of delegates. Klobuchar picked up 6. Okay, here's what I find most interesting. Everybody else lost. Right. Okay. There it is. I don't even know who the hell this is. Deval Patrick. This. I, there's a name on this list that I have not heard before.
He was in one of the debates.
Was he?
Yes, it's
Well,
it was back when they were having to run the debates over 2 nights, and they were splitting the candidates up, and oh, the 10 of you are going to debate, and the 10 of you are going to debate. Like, ooh, ooh. You know, I'm of two minds with this whole Bernie situation. On the one hand, just on a purely human level, I kind of feel sorry for the dude. Like, I think it's pretty obvious that he's being screwed over actively. And you don't even have to make it, overt. You could just slightly put your thumb on the scale. And that's all it really takes to swing some of these things. But on the other hand, I just want to say, gee, I guess socialism sucks, huh? When you earn something and then somebody takes it away from you and gives it to somebody else. Gee, physician, heal thyself, maybe.
right.
But yeah, that's where I'm at on it.
Um. Now, yeah, and I also think it's interesting that looking at New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders scores narrow victory in New Hampshire Democratic primaries. Um, that's interesting. Bernie was able to win in the state where Pete Buttigieg wasn't all but counting the votes himself.
It was Pete's shadow.
Uh, that's, I mean, yeah, it's so, it's just so glaring that that Bernie was done dirty, and I I hate defending Bernie Sanders. He's he is the enemy. When you raise your hand and take the oath of office in the United States for any elected position or enlisting or commissioning into the military, and you say, I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from all enemies, foreign and domestic. This is domestic. This is the domestic enemy. People seem to not understand that part of what it means to defend the Constitution is to uphold the oath of office to defend the Constitution. Um, I had not intended to go down this particular line of conversation this morning, but let's not quibble about this. The stated position, the official party platform for every current Democrat politician is to dismantle the U.S. Constitution. Every one of them has taken a position against the First Amendment and the Second Amendment at a minimum. They are running on censorship, the elimination of religion, gun bans, and outright confiscation without exception.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s and your AK-47s. Oh, Beto, you let the cat out of the bag.
So I don't have much more to say on that in particular. Um, we did have I guess you could call this a win. Yang's out. He quit. Yang gave it up. I don't want your mattresses.
Whatever.
Yang
Yang
gave
in
it up.
particular, man, screw Andrew Yang. Seriously. It's a Maoist communist in disguise. Well, I want to give everybody a freedom dividend. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. It kind of reminds me of when FDR changed the name of welfare to assistance in order to entice people to actually take the money. And then, you know, for like a decade solid, unemployment in this country did not go below 14%. And it was only the fact that World War II forced us into a position of being near 100% employment just to survive the war effort that dragged us out of that depression. UBI is, it's a particular type of evil because it is communism in disguise. And make no mistake, that's exactly what UBI is. It is communism in disguise. Oh, well, you know, wouldn't you want $1,000 a month? Well,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
would. That's why I solicit clients.
yeah. In fact, I'd like a lot more than a
I want
thousand
several
dollars a month.
$1,000s a month. That's why I solicit a lot of clients.
Yeah, and the fact that, especially a guy that's, started businesses, like he does not understand that this is going to directly lead to inflation. It'll throw rent prices completely out of whack. like if you if you have income-based housing, for example, and I now know that you make at least $1,000 a month on top of whatever you put on your paperwork, well, I'm going to raise your rent. And it's not going to be because I'm mean or whatever,
It's going to be
but it's,
because I couldn't afford to have you in my house to begin with.
and that's the way it's going to be for everything. Every time we do things like raise minimum wage and whatever, we alter the overall pricing structure. I am so sick of, well, if minimum wage had kept up with inflation, it'd be like $16 an hour or $21 an hour or whatever. Stop it. Stop it. Minimum wage is not supposed to be a quote
No, you
unquote
were done.
living wage.
You were done there. Minimum wage is not
Thanks.
supposed to be. That was enough.
Yeah, and seriously, if you're relying on minimum wage in order to make ends meet, you've made certain life choices. And miss me with all the nonsense about, oh, well, sometimes bad things happen to good people. So every single person that makes minimum wage is just a loser and made poor life decisions.
Yes,
Well,
or a
probably,
teenager.
well, I mean, probably 95, 99% of them. I mean, sure, okay, somebody got hit by a drunk and just happened to not have insurance and it, forced their whole life into this tailspin and they had to completely reset and whatever. Sure, you can find that literal 1 out of 10,000 hard luck cases that are actual hard luck. But the vast majority of people that are working minimum wage jobs are working minimum wage jobs because they put themselves in a position to where all they could get was a minimum wage job. And the other thing about that is, even if you do go to a temp agency and you're making like $8 an hour for the first 90 days, you go to some factory and help put the widget together. If you are anything above the level of an utter screw up, you'll get hired on full time. And the first thing they'll do is give you a raise. And then they'll give you benefits. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I see what you're doing over there. That's
Okay.
clever.
Within what are we looking at? We're looking at within 50 miles, no, 25 miles, I think, of Atlanta, Georgia. Just because that's the closest large city to me. Urgently hiring up to $2,000 a week. Sales rep. Uh, Personally, I'm not a big fan of doing sales jobs anymore. I've done my fair share. I mean, I'm a small business owner, so I have to do sales, obviously, but working as a straight sales rep for straight commission. But there you go. Licensed life insurance agent. This is an entry level job. right? All you got to do is go get your insurance license. And I bet you if we dig into this, the the Beal Financial Group probably offers to help you get that license. If not, your temporary license is $75. Shut up and go to work. Freight broker agent, entry level position, starting at $55,000 a year. Shut up and go to work. Activists' jobs, stand up and fight for human rights. You can even be a commie and start at $15 an hour, right? An Apple expert. They don't. Let's see. It doesn't say what they pay. Promotion marketing associate, driver, $500 a week, which is more than minimum wage. What's minimum wage right now? $7.25.
$7.25. It's $260 a week, Chris.
$240 a week.
Oh,
$290 a week. I'm sorry.
Well, so we're just all
so
wrong.
This is almost double minimum wage right there. U.S. Department of Agriculture. This says it's an entry-level job. I mean, Canvas director for Georgia Public Broadcasting, $12 an hour to go knock on doors and tell them about TV. Some of these jobs don't look so entry level there. But I mean, come on, that's 2,515 new jobs in Atlanta paying much more than minimum wage at entry level. Shut up and go to work. If you're working for minimum wage, you're a teenager or you have made some poor life choices.
Yes, and anyhow, just to bring it back around to Yang, and in a lot of ways, he was actually more offensive to me than Bernie Sanders. At least Bernie owns it. At least Bernie self-identifies as a socialist.
As a naked Marxist.
Yes, but Yang wants to hide behind the UBI and call it the freedom dividend. That was when I was just blown out of the water. And so, oh, you right bastard. Okay. Man, you were paying attention when Papa Mao spoke. I can tell.
Mao.
So,
a couple of predictions then.
Yep.
I honestly think that unless Pete gets a chance to cheat some more, Bernie takes it. Bernie is going to whoop the absolute snot out of Pete in South Carolina. Where basically South Carolina is a pretty red state, right? So the voters that are going to come out for that primary are going to be black voters who just vote Democrat by default because black voters vote Democrat by default, and actual commies. The black voters that vote Democrat by default, by and large, also go to church and by and large will not vote for Buttigieg precisely because he's a homosexual. Make your cries of bigotry or whatever, but the facts are these. The black vote will not go to Pete Buttigieg. Biden will probably pick up a big chunk of that black vote, but it will not be sufficient to overcome his existing deficit. So Biden's done once they get to South Carolina. Now, that's assuming Biden sticks around after Nevada, which I'm not sure. But I suspect Biden's going to stick around after Nevada just for South Carolina and hope. So Bernie will be leading Pete on the way into South Carolina, and that will be the end of Pete. South Carolina itself will be the end of Pete. He might pick up a bit in Nevada, but I doubt it. I think that, for one, Bernie gets to point at what happened in Iowa and make Nevadans doubt that Pete legitimately won in Iowa. Because it looks a hell of a lot like what happened in Iowa is Buttigieg cheated, and it only netted him a narrow victory.
Well, not only that, I'm going to disagree with you somewhat. It's entirely possible that Joe could get pushed out of the race long before anything else happens because, I mean, he's drowning, and he's drowning hard.
He is. But
but making it to South Carolina, I mean, Super Tuesday's literally 3 days later. At this point, I'd say everybody that's in now, and if anybody doesn't drop out in the next 24 to 48 hours, they will at least all ride it all the way to Super Tuesday. There's no reason to get out before then, even if you're losing, because you can still theoretically make the case. You pick up not even all the delegates, just a good chunk of delegates on Super Tuesday, you're still in the race. Now, I think it'd be hysterical if the Democrats set themselves up for a brokered convention and then the super delegates had to come in and just anoint a winner again. That wouldn't disenfranchise a whole lot of their vote. But no, I think when all this shakes out, it's going to be messy for another couple of weeks. And I think Joe will stay in. He's already in South Carolina. I think he's already, said, to hell with Nevada. I'm doing South Carolina. It's kind of his last stand, as it were.
Yeah.
But I think when all this shakes out, we are going to have what I predicted in 2016. And I predicted in 2016 we would have Sanders versus Trump. And it looks like in 2020 we're actually going to get Sanders versus Trump. And there's a certain appeal in that. Okay, so you got a left-wing populist and a right-wing populist. Sure. Let's see who wins that contest. Let's really see where the soul of the nation is. I mean, it's kind of scary, but...
It is.
Like, a socialist shouldn't even make it to the top of the ticket. So socialism's not that bad. Shut up. You want to talk about the definition of privilege?
Bernie is pro breadline, pro gulag. He's not just pro criminal alien. He's not just pro open borders, which he absolutely is now. Last time around, Bernie was actually for a border barrier, not a wall, but I mean, Bernie was for stronger immigration laws and understood what Milton Friedman explained to us. Unchecked immigration was a good thing before we had a welfare state, but you cannot have both.
Nope. You most certainly cannot. Anyhow, buddy, that's all I got. Actually, no, I have a whole lot more because Bernie's a loser and Joe Biden is falling apart, and it's hysterical. But it's after 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's time to go to work.
Yep.
All right, later, brother.
Later.
Y'all be safe out there. It's time to go to work.
Booty judge.
And hey, for real, make it a point to share these videos. We need a little bit of growth here. So YouTube just stole one of our subscribers. So definitely share the videos on Facebook, Twitter, wherever. Tell your friends to watch this show. Help us build this program, and we will keep spreading the message, bringing you the news updates, and we'll be able to more and more produce high quality, conservative themed, original content comedy short films. So share these videos and let's build this thing. Let's run Hollywood the hell out of business, and let's take this country back away from the damn communists. We love you. Thanks for watching. Share the video. We'll see you tomorrow. Be safe out there.
Pretty sure Hollywood's going to run Hollywood out of business.
Well, yeah, I mean, the real estate situation alone is going to eat them alive.